starting with leadership and motivation. What is leadership? The influence that a particular individual exerts on the goal achievement of others in an organizational context.
Sir, quick
So
question. You're sharing your screen now, sir?
I'm showing my screen.
Sir, I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I'm not seeing the screen, sir.
Anybody seeing the screen?
No, sir.
Put me in a problem now. How do I get the screen? See anything? Big problem.
No, sir.
Slideshow. You don't see anything yet?
No, sir.
Oh, God. I don't know how to start this thing.
Sir, what is currently on your screen, sir?
I'm seeing the slides. Going to go
Okay,
back.
sir. I think you probably need to go on the Zoom application and see if you can find the tab where it's a share screen, sir.
Yeah. Thought I went through all of that.
So we're seeing the screen now, sir.
Seeing it now?
Yes, sir. So sir, so now is the time to know probably share the PowerPoint so that we can see it, because I'm only seeing your desktop.
Hmm. Don't see anything?
Just a desktop, sir, not the presentation, just a desktop.
So how do I get it? You don't see it yet?
Yeah, man, seeing it now, sir. You probably could just go through it like this. Probably if you go in full screen, you probably won't be able to see it, and then we probably would have to walk you through another process to see that screen.
No.
So maybe we can just, since we only have 1 hour, sir, maybe I can just teach from here because we can see the screen now. All right, good to go now, sir.
All right. You would still, right? All right. So, what is leadership? The influence that, am I at the same place? I work with this. Influence that particular individuals exert on the goal achievements of others in an organizational context. So, effective leadership exerts influence in a way that achieves organizational goals by enhancing the productivity, innovation, satisfaction, and commitment of the workforce. So that's what leadership is. And we expect that all these managers are going to use their leadership skills to make the company make money. So leadership is about motivating people and gaining their commitment so that they can do the work and do what is supposed to be done. Leadership has a strong effect on an organization's strategy success and very survival. Leadership. Focused direction so everybody knows where we're going. Competitiveness. If you are competing internally, then you might not that might not be what you want, but you want to make sure that commitment is there. Leadership has a strong effect on the organization strategy, its success, and its very survival. So when people are not focused, then you get bad vibes through your thing, and people start to blame people, and the whole company can fall apart if you don't have that leadership. So focused direction, everybody must be in the same direction. Everybody must know what they're doing. Competitiveness at every level. If you are inside the company and you are competing in the company, as long as it's to the benefit of the organization, then you're good to go. Strategy. So strategy, different ways that you can move the company forward using strategy. Strategic leadership that involves the ability to anticipate, envision, maintain flexibility, think strategically, and work with others to initiate changes that will create a viable future for the organization. Sounds like everybody heading in the same direction. It's better because that's really what leadership is about, keeping people in the direction that makes the company make money. Okay? Strategic leaders are open and honest. Let me pause on that one for a second because this one, it sounds nice when you say it, but when you get caught, it's not so nice. You know, a lot of times companies depend on the leadership doing the right thing, putting them in the right direction. But something goes wrong because somebody decides to, rather than pass the money to the cashier, pass the money to their pocket. And that causes issues. And even without money, other problems can occur, right? Strategic leaders are open and honest in their interactions with the organization, stakeholders, and they focus on the future. So here's the word strategic. So talking about the level of innovation. Formal leadership. Individuals with titles such as manager, executive, supervisor, and department head occupy formal or assigned leadership roles. All of these names that we just discussed, they have meaning. If you call somebody a manager, that's different from the person being a worker. No matter what you do, it's going to be different. So um, you have to be careful how you call people managers, supervisors, etc., because it comes with a role, and that role is critical because that role is part of the people falling in line to get the companies working. They are expected to influence others, and they are given specific authority to direct employees. Some managers and supervisors fail to exert any influence on others. Leadership involves going from beyond formal rule requirements to influence others. Informal leadership. Individuals might also emerge to occupy informal leadership roles. They do not have formal authority. Um, they must rely on being well liked or being perceived as highly skilled to exert influence, previous and enhanced and achievements, connected, long service, and this last one here, union delegate, because I'm not gonna say different from other places in the world, because everybody has the same issues with this. But when somebody is a union delegate, they are they get a post with it, an authority that cuts across some of these formal positions, and they can cause serious issues. So the union delegate is the guy you have to watch out for. You are the manager and you can tell whoever that they are no longer employed there, but you tell the leader, the union delegate, and you find that rather than that person stop working, the company stop working. So be careful. Are leaders born? And this is discussing the trait theory of leadership. Leaders depend on the personal qualities or traits of the leader, based on the assumption that those who become leaders and do a good job of it possess a special set of traits that distinguish them from the masses of followers. This is something that companies have sweated over for a long time. Is it is there a reason why leaders are become leaders? This is, let me see. All right, we soon come back to it. So here are some traits associated with leadership: intelligence, energy and drive, self confident, dominance. Once you attract one of these, people think that you are powerful. So, motivation to lead, emotional stability, honesty and integrity, need for achievement, sociable ability, heritage, history. Um, my mind is kind of running on like the kings, early kings and queens who used to be out there rather than sitting in offices as they are today. But they would tend to get their leadership effectiveness from from their family. Your father dies, so you become king. Yeah? Or, and that's how things used to work. You are born into a position. No, did that mean that every king was a powerful person or fell into the role or what? It caused issues. Some of the so-called kings were not really up to it, had to be removed, dangerous ways. But it did, however, give a line for people to follow. And rather than expecting to come up with all answers, you would have associates around you that would help you with the answers. And they would answer based on established guides. And recent research on leadership traits. Relationship between traits and leaders' effectiveness is stronger for effective and relational measures. The trait approach is not the best means of understanding and improving leadership. Fairly well used though. Limitation of this trait approach. It is difficult to determine whether traits make the leader or whether or not the opportunities of leadership produces the traits. Does not tell us what leaders do to influence others successfully. It does not take into account the situation in which leadership occurs. So that's a trait. Limitations to the trait. It can lead to bias and discrimination, especially like when you have more than one supervisor and you put several people between the different supervisors. All kind of behavior start to creep through. Can lead to a bias and discrimination when it comes to evaluating a leader's effectiveness and decision about promoting people to leadership positions. So people really follow this trait approach, but is it followed towards good or bad? Okay. All of us know this gentleman here, Abraham Lincoln, 16th US president. And he's here on this page because he was a tall man, 6'4", and see the line says he was strong enough to intimidate any rival because he was so tall. So in this case, they were using height. So everybody who was tall in those days got a certain amount of respect because it was about height. Um, I guess some people are still following that rule, but fairly rarely. Limitations of the trait approach. Trait alone was not sufficient for successful leadership. I guess after a while, that was found out or maybe accepted is the better word because it did take a little while before people started to accept that it's really not about the height of the person. And even now, I think people kind of follow that mental rule about tall people, you know. Traits are alone are not sufficient for successful leadership. Traits are only a precondition for certain actions that a leader must take in order to become successful. I guess here now, if you listen to the leader now, the tall leader, well, then you might still find tall people in there. Leaders' behavior have a greater impact on leadership effectiveness than leader traits. See, the behavior of leaders. What are the crucial behaviors leaders engage in? And how do these behaviors influence employee performance and satisfaction? Is there a particular leadership style that is more effective than other styles? Honesty, fairness, kindness, strictness. These words mean anything? Well, I think we can agree to some extent on things like honesty, fairness, and kindness. But strictness is a power game that first of all it depends on the power of the person. Yeah. And if the person is powerful, they can get away with strictness or being strict. Okay. Definition of leadership. Leadership is an influence relationship among leaders and followers who intend real changes and outcomes that reflect their shared purposes. Spreading this out a little bit now, right? What leaderships what leadership involves? It's influence, intention, personal responsibility and integrity, change, shared purpose, followers. All of those have to do with the leader. So an influence relationship among leaders and followers who intend real changes and outcome that reflect their shared purposes. Leadership is described as having six essential elements that are required for all leadership transactions: influence, intention, personal responsibility and integrity, change, shared purpose, and followers, fellowship. Without any one of the listed statements, a relationship between people or characteristics of an individual person cannot be classified as one involving leadership. Okay. It is definition, influence is understood to be multidirectional, meaning both the leaders and followers impact one another and non-corrosively. Paradigm is a shared mindset that represents a fundamental way of thinking about perceiving and understanding the world. So you have phrases paradigm shift. It's a change in the way we used to go and use whatever. It's a new way of thinking. That's a paradigm shift. Often not understood, but as time goes by and as power shifts, then people do understand. New reality of leadership. The old paradigm says it's about stability, control, competition, uniformity, self centered, hero. The new paradigm change crisis management. So you want people who can manage crisis. Empowerment, collaboration, diversity, higher ethical purpose, humble. What is that? Something wrong? No? Okay. I hear a mouse inside here. Management and vision. Management is the attainment of organizational goals in an effective and efficient manner, though planning, organizing, staffing, directing through planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling organizational resources. Vision is a mental picture of an ambitious, desirable future for the organization or team. Pum, pum. Written power. A written, spoken, or implied contract wherein people accept either a superior or subordinate role and see the use of cursive as well as non cursive behavior as an acceptable way of achieving desirable results. Position. Learning leader who is open to learning and change and encourages the growth and development of others. Motivation theories, psychological process that gives behavior purpose and direction. Theories of motivation, Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. We did discuss some of those before. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory, Herzberg's two-factor theory, we discussed that one as well. Expectancy theory and goal setting theory. So motivation, the psychological process that gives behavior purpose and direction. Theories of motivation, Glasgow. We talked about these Glasgow motivation theories, right? A lot of it. And we also did talk about Herzberg two-factor theory. Well, it's listed here again for your benefit. Okay. And there are more. The expectancy theory, I'm going to leave these for you so you can look them up. Expectancy theory states that implies motivation is an outcome of how much an individual wants a reward. You can look up that one and see. Goal setting theory, this one as well. All these theories, motivational theories. Maslow, again, people have needs and one need is relatively fulfilled. Others emerge or predict predictable sequence to take its place. We did discuss this in detail. Self actualization, manager, relevance of Maslow's two theory for managers, um, two-factor theory, dissatisfied or satisfied. Herzberg two-factor theory. I'm leaving these for you. Implications of Herzberg. Da, 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 da. All these I can leave for you. Expectancy theory from Vroom. We saw this before. So it's a nice summary and you can work on them. Relevance of expectancy theory to managers. So employee expectations can be influenced by managers' action and organization experience. Training increases employee confidence in their efforts to perform. Listening in provides managers with insights into employees' perceived performance, rewards, probabilities. I think nowadays that what I'm saying, most people in business nowadays are have basic training. And when you have certain basic training, you tend to have these that we just looked at, these different theories lodged in your brain somewhere that you can use to check for checks and balances as to how this thing works. And at the end of the day, sometimes you have unorthodox or untrained people who use their own way and are very successful. So one of the problems with these management theories is that theoretically they don't work, but because they help individuals organize themselves, you get something out of it. Goal setting theory, general, okay, constructive discontent. I'm hoping here that you guys are gonna go over these things. Yes? Doesn't sound like. Okay. Strategically, strategy two, fitting jobs to people. So job enlargement, coming two or more specialized tasks, combining, sorry, two or more specialized tasks to increase motivation. Job enrichment is designing jobs to increase their motivational potential. Five core dimensions of work: skill, variety, task, identity, task significance, autonomy, job feedback, private or home. Motivation through rewards. Basic rewards, material or psychological payoffs for working. Intrinsic rewards, payoffs granted to the individual by other people, money, employee benefits, promotion, recognition, status symbol, and praise. Um, from my experience, I think recognition is one of the most popular extrinsic rewards here. Intrinsics, intrinsic rewards, self-granted and internally experienced payoff, sense of accomplishment and self-esteem, self-actualization. Motivation through rewards. So employee compensation, money. Well, that would be an unfair statement because money has been around for as long as we have sense. So it's hard to really compare a time of no money to a time of money. Although right now the public is looking at ways, they have started ways of removing currency. I don't know if you know that. Over on the other side of the world, not this greedy side of the world, over on the other side of the world, they are. not paying people. People work together and build and earn, but it's not about you working for X hours and getting paid. You know, I believe, and I said this carefully, people work for rewards. And when you give people rewards without them having to work for it, then they sit back and drink beer. That's the kind of idea I can think. But in this new, I was seeing recently over, I think it's India, over that side of the world, where people are looking to just work. People go from every part of the world to go live there. You don't get paid. You don't want anything. You don't need anything because everything is free and the work is up to you. So let's see if that will work. And the other side of that kind, world power management is money. Money is what people use to keep themselves in power. Well, let's see how long that will work. Employee compensation, money is a universal extrinsic reward. There's no single best compensation plan. Keywords, flexible and varied. So it's here. Let's see. There is no single best compensation plan. Keywords, flexible and varied. Improving performance with extrinsic reward. Satisfy individual cooperative needs, foster positive expectations, ensure equitable distribution and reward results. You can get the feeling here that people have been messing with the compensation for years. You don't get that feeling? Can't find a better way than to pay somebody at the end of a work week. But other ways have been there. What is this one that has been going around? Can't remember. The new currency, cryptocurrency. What's you guys not into those things? Nobody?
That's like bitcoins and everything.
Bitcoins, yes. That Bitcoin thing is carrying on. People are changing their currency to Bitcoin. And if that happens, you realize that the universal richness would disappear. And the riches would go individually, which is the real plan. But rest of us are afraid. We need to collect that pay at the end of the month. But it's a very strong and powerful thing, believe me. Motivation through employee participation. Participative management empowering employees to assume greater control of the workplace, setting goals, making decisions, solving problems, designing and implementing organizational changes. Three approaches to participation. Why is this thing blocking me? Establishing a survey driven process. Analyze survey data department by department. And the last one, can't see what it is. Anyway, it's there and you can read it up. Open book management, sharing key financial data and profits with employees who are trained and empowered. Self-managed teams, high-performance teams that assure traditional managerial duties such as staffing and planning. Jobs are vertically loaded. Managers' resistance is the number one barrier. You didn't figure that anything was going on right now with this salary thing. Lots of things. And a lot of it has been successful. So we'll see. Jobs are vertically loaded. Manager resistance is the number one barrier. And they're going to keep on trying. And with this new problem in the world right now, it gives them more and more ways that they can manipulate. Four-step approach to open book management. Share key financial data and stock. Teach all employees how to read and interpret basic financial reports. Empower employees to make necessary changes and decisions for success. And pay employees fair share of profits through bonuses, incentives, and stock ownership. Key to success, employee participation programs, building employee support for participation, profit sharing or gain sharing plan, a long-term employment relationship with good job security. I guess that one is the key. If you have good job security and you are earning good money at the same time, you feel like you're in the right place. Um, concentrated effort for building to maintain group cohesiveness, protection of the individual employee rights, again, flexible work schedules, flex time. I noticed that everybody in the world is stop going to work. Everybody is working from home. What happened? Hmm. Nobody know what happened. Somebody guess. Go again.
COVID-19.
What about COVID? It's a nice go to. Blame COVID if you don't know what it is. Nothing. What I see is happening right now. The problem is a long time problem that's just coming. You know, one of the most expensive things in our company, storing people, where the different people sit for the whole day to twiddle computers or whatever. And you have to provide a lot of space for people when they could just stay home, do the work, send it in by computer. Easily done. The only thing that they needed was people not being accused of sitting home and not working. Get rid of that thought. And people, I mean, most people, I would assume, would prefer to stay home and work. So let's see what's happening. It's coming in. Changes are coming, believe it or not. Maybe by the next 2 years, it's a different thing going on out there. Flexible work schedules, very different. Flextime allows employees to choose their own arrival and departure times within specified limits. Expanded concept of flex time. Reduced time, paid leaves, telecommunicating, compressed work weeks, semi-permanent and permanent part-time job sharing. I mean, right now I'm sitting at home lecturing a class. That's not, you don't even think about it like that anymore. Even though you're not in a classroom. Anyway, these things we'll see. Flex time. Motivation through quality of work life programs. Family support services. Family friendly companies recognize and accommodate employees' non work lives and priorities. Top 5 family friendly benefits depend care, flexible, spending accounts. Well, flex time, generous family leave, paternity. This paternity thing is now set. You know what paternity is? You know what maternity is? Hello? Nobody?
Yes, sir. We're there, sir. What was the question, sir?
I was asking if you knew what paternity was. Anybody?
Sir, let's
Maternity, like
fathers.
mother, father, something sort parents.
No. What is maternity?
Sir, maternity has to do with the mother and paternity has to do with the father, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, that's the key. When you say maternity, pregnancy, you know there's a leave coming there because everybody accept that rule, right?
Yes, sir, and they're getting ready to introduce paternity leave now, sir.
Who is giving
I
paternity
heard them
leave?
discussing it in the media the other day, sir, in Jamaica, sir. They're considering it, especially the universities.
Universities, that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
You to be exact.
What about what? Well, anyway, but you begin to
So
see paternity
suppose me have
coming
two
in,
baby mother that me can't get two paternity leave.
and that's the point I was going to make. You stop at 2, you go on top of 6, but maybe they don't accept it unless you're married, you know. So there are ways, but there are different times coming, and it's not new. Times are not new. These things have been discussed for years and years and years, right? But just don't know how to make it work. You see. Top 5 family friendly benefits: dependent care, flexible spending accounts, flex time, generous family leave, telecommuting, and part time basis. Compress, I can read that work weeks. Yeah. So it's changing. This present COVID is going into eras that we have tried to avoid for a long time. Right? Don't know. You can, if you think about things that COVID is giving us, like mask, you have to wear masks to go into all that kind of like a funny thing. And people are now wearing it. You know, it's not like 6 months ago where you kiss your teeth and walk in the place. Nope. Anyway, it's a new change. So we see how that goes. Wellness programs, sabbaticals, giving long-term employees intended periods of paid time off to refresh themselves. I see how that one go. Great game of business. You can't hear anything, right?
No, sir.
Right. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs contends that people are motivated by merging rather than fulfilled needs. Herzberg believes that the key to true satisfaction is an enriched job. Expectancy theory argues that motivation is the product of perceived probabilities of acquiring personally valued rewards. Goals can be effective motivational tools when they are specific, difficult, participatively set, and accompanied by feedback and performance. Managers can counteract the boredom associated with routine task jobs through realistic job previews, job rotations, and limited exposure. Job enrichment helps to meet individual needs for meaningful responsibilities and knowledge of results. Both intrinsic and extrinsic rewards can have a positive impact on performance and satisfaction. Participative management programs foster direct employee and involvement in one or more of the driving following areas: goal setting, decision making, problem solving, and change implementation. Quality of work life programs are being used to accommodate and motivate today's diverse workforce. Some terms for you to understand. You have 15 minutes more? All right, let's squeeze 15 minutes more out of this, and that will set you free. Communication process by which information and understanding are transferred between the sender and a receiver. I don't know why India is up there, but this is talking about interpersonal communication. Sender and receiver. And different channels as you go around. Please read this. It just talks about interpersonal communication. And anything that interferes with the or slows down or reduces the clarity or accuracy of the communication is termed as noise. So noise is something that you have to eliminate from your workplace the difficulty with talking about noise is that people just take noise as sound when it's not just sound. It's anything that causes problems that can be released, removed. Leaders are communication champion. There are some champions. You know these people? Anybody? Know anybody up there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One? Who you know?
Sir Obama, Martin
Obama.
and Bush.
Where's Bush?
Sir, who the man there in that glass?
Norman Manley or Michael Manley, one out of two of them.
In which glass? You mean the glasses? That's
Yes, sir.
Louis Farrakhan. That's the mighty Louis Farrakhan. You don't know him?
No, sir.
Oh, no, you have to go read up Farrakhan. He's still alive.
Sir, repeat him name.
He's what?
Repeat him name.
Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah, man, that name may sound familiar. Sir, one of them humanitarian people, eh?
Call it that, yeah. Powerful guy. Very, very powerful.
He must be.
He is the black man who curse off every white man. Yeah, look him up. And I'm sure you know Michael, man. It can't be that bad. Eh? And you know, what's this one beside Farrakhan again?
Martin Luther, sir.
Martin Luther King. These are four powerful people, and they are powerful for a lot of reasons. But I should not talk about their power, but I should talk about their ability to speak, because that's what this is about. It's their ability to speak. Two of them are still alive, two are not. But they are leaders as communication champions. Farrakhan, I remember one of his early speeches. He spoke one of those cities, can't remember, such a long time. Look him up though. But he spoke for about 6 hours without even a piece of paper beside him. Manley, I can't remember in my days of watching Michael Manley, I can't remember him ever having a piece of paper to guide him as to what he's saying or he's going to say. And if you notice, Obama has that same kind of charisma around the microphone. He doesn't use a microphone, the papers to tell him what to talk about. He's talking from inside. And these are the kind of things that make these people very powerful. Mastering. Leaders sharing all types of information throughout the company and across all levels. Why open the communication channel? Open climate is essential for cascading vision, and cascading is essential because you get what you talk about. I'm leaving this to you. Natural law 2, the climate of the organization is a reflection of the leader. 3, you can't walk faster than one step at a time. If you go down in there, you'll see all about that. I expect you're gonna complete this, right? Oh, electronic mail. I'm leaving this one to you. Emails are not emails. You'll find it interesting. All of this. Let me see. Okay. This should take us to the end, I think. Yeah. Know what this is? These are some things that have been developed in Jamaica. All-inclusive hotels. We started that, believe it. Bauxite tile field. I think this one is Brazil. But building the water way to settle to the side. This was a Jamaican thought, put it that way. Jerk pork or jerk chicken are Jamaican. And our Scientific Research Council just on Old Hope Road, you know where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have done a lot of research. They are government research facility, and they have done quite a lot. And most of it goes unrecognized. And I'm really sorry for those people because the last time I did tell them that they should have put in a communication arm, and they are still there. You still don't know what they are doing. But this example at the top here, it's sorrel. Sorrel, as we know it, bears once a year. Correct? Help me out now. Bears once a year. Nobody agrees?
Yes, sir. You could. I guess you could say that, sir.
Why? Because I asked.
Eh?
What is why? Huh?
You don't think it beer once a year.
What you think?
I think I think most people would think that they only beer once a year because people mostly drink sorrel only in Christmas time. But I don't think it's once a year. I think it's more than.
All right, let me put it in perspective. Sorrel used to beer only at Christmas time. Only. Thanks to SRC, they now beer all year round. So sorrel, you would only get at Christmas time. You would get it in bulk. Because that's the only time it would beer. Now, you can get sorrel all year round thanks to a modification that SRC did on the original plant. This is us showing us some innovations for these things. Most of these and this are, all of these things are developed locally. And if you go into the outer world, so many new things. Bauxite is a major one I should mention. Bauxite was a huge problem. If you come down Fern Gully Hill, is Fern Gully near? No, it's not there, sir. What's that very long hill coming down? Don't drive it again, that's why. That if you get familiar with it, going up that hill, if you look over to the gully, you will see where they had the can't remember the name. The bauxite, right? The bauxite dump was over there, and they changed it to this system, and you don't have that dump problem anymore. But that part of that is still out there, which means if we had gone a little bit longer, we would have a greater portion of Jamaica having that issue. I'm hopeful that in another couple of years they'll start cleaning up those junk piles. But a lot of stuff is going on starting from Jamaica. We're not getting left out. So we are in the mix. See the Scientific Research Council and all some of their stuff. You can read it up. They are always asking for papers if you write something. You know, and they have a lot of rum things, natural products that they develop onward every year. So, right. Go. Nice. All right. So here we know. We have finished the talking. Next week, this time, if you have any questions or whatever, if you want to email it to me beforehand, but we can talk about issues next week. Make sense? Which means you don't have a class this week. You don't have the 2-hour class this week, all right?
Nobody... is this the final lecture class?
This lecture class, yes, final lecture class. But I'm here. If you have any questions, you can. I'll be here next week. And if you have any in between, you can email me.
Okay, sir. And just to reconfirm, you said that if we complete this presentation, we should be ready for the final exam. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, this is what you're going to study for the final.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Too easy? Hello?
No, sir, nothing like that, sir.
We're not saying
no, man, we can't say it too easy, sir. We're not saying it.
But it sound like you were discussing it with the rest of your class before you answer me.
Everybody mic off, sir, isn't it?
I just want to make sure that it's not too little or too much for you. Okay? I want some good grades. Although I don't see how the presenting where you have so much time to do the exam. You have a day to do the exam. It's kind of hard not to get 90s, is it? I'm sure you agree. It's all right. That's answer.
Okay, sir. We're going to do our best, sir.
Well, let me ask you this now. When I turn in exam papers and classwork papers with all the marks between 85 and 100, all, doesn't sound strange to you? And the other thing is, an answer to a question. You're just going to give an answer to a question, and even the verbiage sounds exact. Anyway, I guess it's the new style. I guess that's what people expect. True? All right.
Yes.
I'll be here next week, Tuesday, And if you want me to bring back anything and talk about it, we can do that, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right.
All right,
If
sir.
you have anything in between, email me or whatever. All right.
Yes, and sir, still not sure about the dates.
Sir, some of the class
don't
keeping,
know. Huh?
the elements class keeping tonight, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. They are close to the end too. But they have a lot of work to do. Somebody had said something before. I forget.
If you're not sure about any dates yet, sir.
Oh, the dates. No, I think today is when they put out the dates. They're just still finalizing it. You're good. You're good, Doyen.
All right, sir.
No, man, no problem. I'm not ducking out on you for the rest of the semester. I will be here. Right? The only thing I'm really considering is the second test, because I should have had a second test. But there are too many people in the class for me to waste another hour, another day and a week, another week and a half to mark those papers. But I'm thinking about it and what to do, because that's the plan. The plan is for you to have another test and then the finals. Okay?
Okay, sir.
But we'll see. All right.
All right. Listen, sir.
All right. Take care.